Hello YouTube, it's Craig with CasWorks Woodworking. I just finished up this table for my wife. Let me take you through the process. Created a nice pattern between walnut and maple for the top of my wife's little get together in the morning table. Out of the clamps and ready to send through the planer. Planing it down to final thickness. I didn't have thick enough stock for the legs. I wanted it to be about 1.5 inches square. So here I am gluing up 2 sets of 1x for each of the 4 legs to get it to the right thickness. All glued up and out of the clamps. Now on to sanding. I'm going to take it through all the grits up to 220. I use a pencil on the pieces, and once the pencil mark is gone, I know to move up to the next grit. I'm using my crosscut sled to cut each leg to final length. I've used the blue tape to keep track of what piece and what face goes in what direction and what location on the table. I saw John Peters of Longview Woodworking do this very cool detail, a different option for legs. And so I thought this would be a perfect application to use it here on the legs. I'm using the stop against my fence so that I can keep rotating the leg to get the cuts at the same spot. You'll see the type of detail that this will form after I'm finished. It's really cool. I'll put a link in the description where you can find the video that John Peters did. If you couldn't tell, I had the blade tilted at a 45-degree angle, and so I had cut all 4 sides of the leg at the same location at the 45-degree angle. Now I moved the fence to the opposite side of the blade so I could make this other cut on all four sides again of the leg, and then I'll show you what I'll do in between those cuts. I put the blade back to 90 and broke out my crosscut sled again, and I'm simply going to hog out the meat between those 45-degree cuts at the bottom of the cut so that it creates a really nice detail, as you'll see once I'm finished with hogging out the material. I used files and sandpaper to clean up this portion of the legs. I started prepping the pieces for the shelf that is going to be near the bottom of the legs. Broke out my crosscut sled again for that. I plan on having an apron underneath the top of the table. I will also have stretchers by the bottom shelf. I'm cutting them to 1.5 inches wide. I saved up some money and recently purchased a Festool domino. I figured this would be the perfect application to try it out. I gotta say, I really love this thing. I use the domino for assembly on all parts of this build. I cut a chamfer on the bottom of each leg on all four sides that matched the angle of the little detail near the bottom of the leg. Time for assembly. I decided I'm going to do the glue up in phases, so I'm going to do the two sides and let them fully cure before I put the entire table together. Now it's time to put the two sides together. Since this is a perfectly square table, the assembly is identical as to what I did to the two sides. I'm just now putting the two sides together with each other to form the square table. The bottom shelf was also assembled using the dominoes. Assembly was really quite easy. The dominoes kept everything in place and aligned and made it really easy to glue up and clamp up. I'm really happy with how that worked out for my first time. As I said before, I really like this thing and I know I will be using it quite frequently. I'm making my own clips to secure the tabletop to the base. I use the domino to cut a groove in the apron, and now I'm going to cut a rabbet on a long piece of wood, which I will eventually cut into smaller pieces. You can see how the rabbet is in this board, and I will make 6 smaller pieces. I use my trim router to put a chamfer on the bottom edge of the tabletop. I put 1 coat of varnish on the top and bottom of the tabletop, let it cure, and then I pre-drilled holes in my clips, and now I am attaching the tabletop to the rest of the table. I had softened all the edges, and once this is attached, I will put 2 more coats of varnish on. These clips were installed in such a manner that it will allow expansion and contraction of the top. I present to you the final product. Comment, like, share, and subscribe as always. Have a great week.